All right, folks. Welcome to Nino's Corner once again. I got Gabe Doe back on the show. Gabe Doe's on the show
Awesome.
once again. And folks, I got to tell you, listen, this is by far one of my favorite products ever. Gabe, thank you for joining me, man. This is going to extend people's lives. They have no idea that this small supplement, this basic supplement that can be the answer to everything like inflammation, gut health is number one. Thank you so much, William, for joining me.
Yeah, absolutely. I was glad to be back on, happy Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I think
Going
some of the
quick.
audience, yeah, some of the audience is getting to know a little bit about us and and who we are. So, first thing I want to do is let everybody know who's already familiar with the product that we've got some specials going for the holidays. So, jump on over there, do that. Use the discount code Give Thanks. The same one we used last time, still 10% off, 10% even on top of the specials. And we always price our product low compared to the market so that people can continue to reuse it. We have a 50% reorder rate. We already have a lot of the Nino Corner listeners reordering. We're seeing them come in all the time, so it's growing and people are really getting to appreciate the product just like Nino is appreciate like you are.
Yeah, it tastes so good. I can mix it with coffee. I have coffee like 3 or 4 times a day. That's probably my downfall, but I keep taking the and here's what's important about this, folks. I didn't even know this existed, but it's a pre and probiotic. Now let's explain why this is so important for people, especially the older adults that watch this program. When I say older, shit, I'm talking even about my age and up. We got to start taking care of ourselves now. This is it. We're in the last stretch of the race here, and I feel like all the bad choices I made, when I was in my 20s and 30s and early 40s, is like this is when it starts to catch up with you, man. And it's like we got to fight that as much as we can. And I'm sober now. I'm not drinking, and now what I'm trying to do. Now that I quit the bad habits, I'm trying to replace them with good habits and good things for my body, just so I can get that extra mile, whatever I can get in the tank.
Yes, and your gut is the beginning of everything. Hippocrates knew this. The ancient people knew this, and now when they study tribal people who haven't been exposed to all the modern antibiotics and pesticides and preservatives and toxins, they have like double the diversity in their microbiome than that we have, and they have very low degree of inflammatory related diseases and autoimmune diseases. And one of the things we know is that the gut lining gets damaged by having a lack of diversity in the microbiome and what we call dysbiosis. And that damage to the gut lining, amongst many other things, is the beginning of many of these autoimmune diseases and chronic diseases. And 70% of your immune system is in your digestive system.
So let me ask you this. So like I like to do the fasting. I do a lot of fasting now, and I never realized like how much you really don't need to eat. Like it's just ridiculous. And I work out hard. Like I'm in weights every day. I'm on the treadmill every day, and I'm like, man, I'm not hungry. If I'm not hungry, I'm not going to force myself to eat. But you couldn't have told me that 5 years ago. I'd be like, no, you got to have your 6 meals, man. You got to put on the mass. You got to put your body's being torn down. But I was a professional athlete, or like 10 years ago, I was a professional elite athlete in the boxing circuit, right? So you couldn't have told me that. Now I'm like, man, I don't ever need to eat. And if I'm just doing the right things, like fasting and adding and supplementing this product, Good Brew, into my repertoire, I mean, I should be golden like a shower, baby, right?
That's right, man. It's really, really important. And you're right. That's one of the problems with modern society. We don't work outdoors. We don't do a lot of physical labor. We don't need to eat nearly as much as we do. And when we do eat, we need to eat well because that's really one. So every generation since antibiotics, our microbiome has gotten less diverse. But we also see it very specifically with a lot of the ingredients that are in our foods. One of the ones is these emulsifiers. Emulsifiers are in a lot of products that allows fats and water soluble compounds to be able to join and stay mixed so it doesn't separate. But they know that these emulsifiers are breaking down the mucosal lining in the gut, and that damages the microbiome. But it also, the microbiome is there to repair it, so it's a back and forth thing. So you want to be careful with what you're eating, but you also want to have a good microbiome so that you can resist the damage that's done by these things. But those emulsifiers specifically, they know break down the mucosal lining, which then allows the gut lining to get attacked, and you need the microbiome to rebuild and have healthy cells that will allow that to heal and be healthy. And that's a major part of health that gets into everything from dementia to arthritis to anything you name it, you know.
So you're saying it all starts at the gut, all those ailments, all those diseases. What about, people with colon cancer, stomach cancers? I mean, is that obviously from the biodome, right?
It has a lot to do with it, yes. So with like colon cancer, so the microbiome is responsible for producing the short chain fatty acids that provide 70% of the energy to the cells in the digestive system. Our bodies, we do not produce any short chain fatty acids ourselves, digestly, and we do not have, and we do get a little bit from the food, but it's very little. So 95% of the short chain fatty acids are produced by a healthy microbiome, and when your gut is not healthy, you're not producing these short chain fatty acids, and that causes a lot of disruption in the cellular metabolism, which is a front runner or precursor to colon cancer and many other cancers, even through the body, because those short chain fatty acids are also providing nutrients for cells all through the body. Same thing in the stomach. We have a lot of testimonials of our product helping people with acid reflux and GERD, where they haven't been able to find any other solutions, real solutions. The medical community, they provide antacids and proton pump inhibitors, and then eventually surgery. None of those are curative. They're just simply treating the symptoms.
How long before people start noticing results if they have acid reflux or indigestion or something like that? How long does it take for the results after they start drinking the stuff?
We've been really surprised that the product wasn't developed specifically for any one thing. It was just developed just to be very good for your gut and support your gut microbiome. But based on the testimonials, I mean, everybody's different. So I'm not saying this is for every single person. This is good, but I'm telling you, for the number of testimonials we have, it is mind-boggling. And because we're not a real big company, and I mean, people are seeing like in a week they're starting to see benefits, and then people who use it longer term are like almost like saying, I don't even ever experience it anymore for the people that it does something for. So it can be pretty quick. And probiotics and microbes, they go to work in like 24 hours, but then you're feeding the microbiome this organic fiber. And many of the big brands on the market that sell fibers are selling fibers that aren't really what our microbiome evolved on. They're selling wheat dextrin and corn dextrin and synthetic fibers, and they're not really giving the microbiome the nutrients it really needs. So we have an organic inulin fiber. We use no preservatives, no processing aids. And so that fiber is essential for feeding the microbiome and getting the good microbiome back up in charge and displacing the bad microbes. So yeah, our product's very much functional. Well, in the constipation, we've had people who've had severe constipation for even over a decade. People who are nurses. We have a functional medicine doctor. Functional medicine, one of the most well-respected functional medicine doctors in Northern Colorado, was having digestive health issues, him and his wife. And he got our product at an integrated medicine conference. And 3 weeks later, he was calling me saying, I don't want to make any money. I just want to offer a discount to all my clients. So, I mean,
wow.
Yeah, that's a functional medicine doctor. Yeah, and that's his business to know how to fix these things.
What I really love about this, you could have this on your shelf, right? You don't need to put this in the refrigerator.
No, it's a spore-forming probiotic. So Mother Nature, so we get our colonizing microbe from our mothers at birth, and it's very hard to supplement those in by like capsules and those sorts of things, those probiotics. But Mother Nature also provided these transient probiotics, like ours, Bacillus coagulans, that's out in nature, and you get it if we were out digging up plants from the soil and that sort of thing, and they're spores, and they germinate in the lower intestine, so they're very hardy as a spore. They withstand heat, and you can put it in your coffee, but more importantly, it survives the stomach and the stomach acid. It gets to the lower intestine where it germinates in combination with the prebiotic fiber, which is an essential thing that we all need more of. And together, the probiotic itself has been shown to increase protein utilization by up to 20%, improve digestive function, immune function. But they're also really supporting the other good microbes, which play all this role in producing B vitamins, which energy production, cellular metabolism, many things in addition to helping people with an immediate digestive health issue, but optimizing your health all together. So nutrient absorption and rebuilding the gut lining, all of these things are very important. So yes, you can also, by using it in the scoop form, which is how we have it, you actually get a significant amount of fiber. If you try to get fiber in a capsule, there's not enough room in the capsule to actually contain enough of that fiber. So by using it as a scoop, you're actually A, get enough fiber, but B, you can adjust it to what works for you. And many people, we always tell everybody just start with one scoop, because if you've got anything going on, there might be an adjustment period. But ultimately, we have many people who just use one scoop a day, and it'll last you a very long time if you're just a one scooper. I use 2 scoops a day. So our serving size on the label is 2 scoops. But if one scoop is what works for you, then just stay with one scoop. And so, I mean,
Can you overuse? I mean, how many times a day is good here? Like once, twice a day, or once every other day, or what's good?
for most people, it's once a day. Now, some of those people with acid reflux tell us when they experience them, in addition to using it in their coffee or whatever, they also sometimes would take it just dry because it tastes, it hardly has any taste at all. It's just mildly sweet. They'll actually take it like a spoon of it just dry, also apparently. But you can mix it in the yogurt. But once a day is what most people use. But you also start to learn. So, like for me, when I'm traveling, occasionally almost every day I'm 2 scoops in my coffee in the morning, but occasionally I'll add another scoop or 2 in the afternoon just because I'm listening to myself and I've, gotten to know. But I will also say this, there's not any real great studies behind the size of the human being, weight and all of that stuff as to how much you should use. But I will say just over time, talking to enough people, I do see that like smaller women tend to use a little less and bigger guys tend to use a little bit more. It just seems, I don't, that's just my anecdotal,
Yeah, obviously the weight,
yeah.
the weight element there. I mean, I probably need to use more of it. I'm using it about once every other day. Um, I was using it every day, so I need to pick it up now. I need to start doing more. And it actually is great with coffee, by the way.
Yeah.
It's like a tincture of sweetener to me. It's a little bit of a sweetener. I love the taste of it. It's a neutral to sweet taste, right? Like a vanilla taste almost.
It's very mild sweet taste, and that's the short chain inulin. If you get an inulin, so inulin is a whole branch of these polysaccharides, and the ones that come from fruit, they are mildly sweet, and that's a good indication that it's an authentic natural inulin because it's a short chain inulin. There are inulins, and they sell these too as fibers, but they don't have any sweetness to them. And these are synthetic inulins that have been made for the food industry to stabilize foods. And they're not really the inulins that we know that are best for the microbiome. So that little bit of sweetness that you taste is an indication of that it's the right kind of inulin that the microbiome likes to feed on.
Most people wait until they're sick to start trying to fix the problem. It's like, don't wait. Don't wait until it's too late. You got to get on it now and start improving your body. Preventative measures. That's where it's all at. And I mean, the system that we're living in is meant to kill us, man. It's like it's a survival of the fittest. I mean, the trails in the sky, the water, the food, the technology we're using. I mean, we're just being bombarded every day. I mean, we should be able to take little measures like this to help us last.
Absolutely, yeah. And when they look at what our ancestors' guts would have looked like versus today, I mean, they think, it would have been twice as diverse in its microbiome. And this is a
Wow.
critical thing. And it's also a way, just to bring down a society. As if you break down the health of a society, that society can't really function and think about the bigger picture. You're worried about your own health. You're worried about you're sick. When you're sick, you can't really put much focus on anything else other than taking care of yourself. And the system really keeps us all sick. And so, and it's coming from every direction, from medicine, from, the impact of medicine and the side effects of medicine on our gut microbiome and on our
I
guts.
think the
All
worst
these
thing
other-
I think the worst thing you can drink is sodas, carbonation, like energy
yes.
drinks, Cokes, and I've been guilty of that. I've been drinking. I just came back from New Mexico and I was up there and I was drinking a Coke every day. I was like, ugh. But
Yeah.
I think that's the worst thing you can do, right?
Yeah, if you can really get sugar and especially soda. So drinking sugar is it's when they look at the heart disease and cancer across the country, and they lay a map over the areas that have the high, based on sugar consumption and sugar, actually specifically sugary drink consumption. Increased rates of heart disease and cancer correlate almost perfectly with the map of how much sugary beverages are consumed.
It's like fuel.
Yeah,
Fuel
yeah,
for cancer.
yeah, absolutely. It's really, really bad. And that's what the cardiovascular, and they're also now, these studies are also linking all of that to the microbiome as well. So when you, sugar will change the microbiome. Too much sugar, your microbiome will change to these microbes that want to feed on sugar. And this is even scarier. These microbes will actually send a signal to the brain to want more sugar. So these microbes want to create an environment that they like, and so they want you to keep. There's certain, you can look this research up. These microbes can produce molecules that make us crave sugar more because that's what they want. And overall, that's kind of how the microbiome works. And our product, Good Brew, really supports and creates the same kind of metabolites that those lactobacillus and bifidobacteria and Akkermansia want to survive, live in, and proliferate in the lower intestine. So when you add Good Brew to your routine, it's kind of like you're sending in the reinforcements to help build up the environment that these other good microbes want to live in. And if you're on a carnivore diet or a heavy protein diet, you got to keep in mind your body can't break down those proteins all by themselves. You need a healthy microbiome, and you have to feed that microbiome fiber in order to have the right microbes. So you may have a lot of protein, but you're not getting that protein because there's nothing, you don't have the microbes to break it down properly. And that's also leads to a lot of inflammatory problems, because if you don't have the fiber and the right microbes, your gut lining gets damaged. And then these undigested proteins and other things get outside of the gut, and that causes an immune response and an inflammatory response. So it all works together, both in breaking down the proteins, getting the nutrients, the minerals, the vitamins from the food. The microbes also produce these metabolites, but then they also keep the gut healthy so that everything moves smoothly. And we've also talked about serotonin production, 90% of serotonin production in the gut. And that serotonin regulates a lot of things. It regulates digestion. It plays an impact on the heart. There's the heart, actually, muscles have serotonin receptors that help to regulate heartbeat. And then also that serotonin is very important as it circulates to the body and getting into the cells, where it converts to melatonin, and then that melatonin supports the mitochondria in the cells. So, I mean, it's an all-encompassing holistic aspect to our health, is taking care of your gut. And our product seems to really resonate with a lot of users for both very specific issues and then also this health optimization, better muscle recovery. A lot of people notice that as well over time.
I've noticed that.
Yeah, less soreness. Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not nearly as sore. And my back, but I'm taking. My back doesn't hurt at all right now, and I've been taking. I mean, obviously other supplements, but I've noticed my back is feeling so much better, man.
Well, it all works together.
Better.
It's just like the red light therapy that you like too. You know, they work together because that's cellular function, but you need to have healthy cells for that to really work. So the gut has a lot to do with that chain from going from a healthy gut to proper serotonin production, the melatonin in the cells, to healthy mitochondria. And then that red light has something to actually work with, because the red light stimulates the mitochondria. But if you don't have healthy mitochondria to begin with, you know, so it's all working together.
So where do people get this? I'm going to show this site again one more time, folks, for you. This is Good Brew right here. Boom, there it is. Here's the beginning. I guess by the time people see this, we'll be on to the New Year's special.
We may still have the first Christmas special, but we'll add another New Year's special that will be three. You'll have that same special with the two mediums, or we'll also do like a three buy two get one free on the mediums if it's after Christmas. And so give thanks, get an additional 10% off of all.
Okay, so the code is give thanks.
Yes, give thanks. The same one we use at Thanksgiving, and give thanks. That stocking stuffer will probably not be on if it's after Christmas, but we'll have another special up. So give thanks and get 10% off in addition to the special. And we always price the product well, so you can purchase anything else off of there at any other price. And we always make it so that people can afford to keep using the product. So
Beautiful.
happy New Year. Yeah, happy New Year. And we really like being on the show with you and everything.
Thank you, Gabe.
Yeah, it's
I
great.
appreciate this, folks. Get to a goodbrew.com, get started, and give thanks as the code. And let me tell you, man, I'm sold on this. I love this product. So thank you so much for joining me, William. God bless you.
Thanks. God bless you. Take care. Happy New Year.